Let's give it about a minute. But hey guys, this is Story. We're awake for another beautiful morning, and we're gonna make the day happen. We're gonna make it pop. As long as we wake up, it's a great day. Ugh, oh man, I actually slept really well last night, so that is a surprise. I'm just gonna wait a minute to see if anybody else wants to join and listen in. But in the background, you see me in my house in Final Fantasy, which is another really good MMO. I'm not taking a break from Shroud or anything. I just wanted to test my microphone before I do more recording. So to do that, I decided I would just commentate some stuff while I did Final Fantasy today. We could talk about a few different things, just random subjects that aren't very spicy or anything. Just points of views on the gaming field, the the direction it's going in, when what new games that are coming out that I would like to look at. Maybe I will look at. Thinking heavily on looking at because I'm like a lot of the people who are just looking for a new game. Not because I'm tired of Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy's not bad at all. It's far from bad. It's really good. I had a lot of fun in it, but I've been playing for so long that I can't help but feel like there's something better out there for me at this point that I should be more aware of or ready to take up, I guess. So that's why I want to take a break from Final Fantasy because I'm just ready. As you can see here, I'm looking at all the things that I can't turn in because I don't have that stuff. But I do think I have these ear cuffs, like an extra pair of ear cuffs. Oh, that's on my alt. Never mind. Alright, well, good morning everybody. Story here. I'm gonna do this little gig as a test to see if I finally figure out how sound settings work here on OBS, because I'm still fairly new to this, so I'm getting the hang of the ropes. So this is just gonna see if this is my keen awareness or understanding of the situation at play. In the background, I am gonna be doing some Final Fantasy stuff. Just pretty much looking over what I'm doing. I'll be crafting, gathering, working toward an achievement that I've been meaning to work toward for a little bit. So I figured this is a good excuse to do this while I talk about some random things with you guys. My first topic of interest, and probably my largest, and only planned out one if I'm being honest with you, because I guess this is the only thing I really want to talk about while I did this, is gaming. And to be more precise, games coming out and how I feel about MMOs right now and how what I'm excited for and what I was excited for and what I got let down by. And maybe any of you could tell me what you guys are excited for or let down by. Personally, I am an MMOer, meaning I like to specifically dabble in MMOs. I like single player games. I like single player role play games, single player action games, and all that. But I find myself wanting to play actual MMOs more than anything. And what that means is, oh, here, let me actually switch my stream to show you guys what I'm actually doing so I don't just randomly seem like I'm standing around in Final Fantasy from time to time, because that is not what I'm doing. Oh yeah, this would be perfect. I hope you guys are ready for this. Oh, there we go. There, I just switched mid-video. Let's just pretend I did a cut for that one. So this is Teamcraft, if you guys don't know what that is. It's a super cool desktop app, and it allows you to keep an organized track of everything you're doing. Originally, when I looked at this, it was overwhelming. But when I finally took a moment to look at it, it made sense to me suddenly. Like, this is a time node section. This is what you can buy from NPCs. This is gathering broken down by zone. For the longest time, I was like, why would they have me switch from botanist to miner back to botanist back to miner? And then it made sense. It's all in the same zone here, so that way you don't go across the world. Anyways, though, let's let's get back to what I was talking about, games. So I was I'm an MMO. I means I almost almost exclusively stick to playing MMOs because I feel like MMOs are some of the only games out there where you get your money or you get your money's worth. A lot of games I will buy them, I will play them for about 9 hours, I will beat them, or I will get to the point where I finished all the main stuff and almost all of the side stuff to the point where what's left is really just going back to like low level places and doing what I hadn't done. And it'll be within 9 hours, 10 hours, and there goes 60 of my dollars. And then they're like, well, wait next month until our next DLC where you can pay us another $40, $30, or pay 30 extra dollars up front on this game that you already spent 60 for, so 90. And we'll give you another 10 hours of gameplay. When in reality, I grew up gaming on single player games like the old Final Fantasies, and I would get 50, 60 hours worth at minimum from the older games and do not even half the stuff. It was just all fun stuff for me. So now I just really play MMOs because I feel like most MMOs are a set way to get my fun out of it. How I feel about Final Fantasy and that in particular is a different story. Final Fantasy, the reason I sub to Final Fantasy and I am diehard to Final Fantasy is because I played Final Fantasy XI when I was younger. I made a lot of friends and a lot of memories there. And it's just one of those games that they had made it a more slow burn game. So you spent a lot of time with people. Interactions were particularly very important because it was you back then. It wasn't one of those games where you could just screw people over and be a jerk and then switch to a different server. It was actually more focused on atmosphere. It was more focused on community driven things. Like everything you did needed a group. And a lot of people think about that and they're like, oh, that sounds horrible and all this stuff. But in reality, if you actually played it, it wasn't that bad. That's all in all. It was kind of nice. I mean, waiting for hours upon hours sometimes for a group, that did happen. I won't pretend like that didn't happen, but there were some jobs that were more wanted than others, and it just so happened I played the least wanted job, so I almost never had a group. But my job was also really good at soloing. I played a dragoon. And anyways, because Final Fantasy made such fond memories for me, I just stick around now. Like these guys, I feel like they're taking Final Fantasy 14 in a good direction for fighting content and whatnot. I feel like they're taking it in a poor direction for gathering and crafting because they're making it way too easy and accessible to the point where it's kind of ruining the fun for people who like to play the market. Like, for people who like to play the market, it's not the best. You just feel like everyone undercuts you because now everybody can get in it. Everyone can just buy crafting gear and they go in it. It's like, ah, ha, ha, I'm gonna put this up for 10 gil, but you spent 30,000 to make it. Whatever. I'm excited to be on the market finally. Ah, ha, ha. And they sound like the Penguin from Batman for some reason. I don't know why I keep making that voice, but that is why I sub to Final Fantasy even with its downfalls. And it is a fun game. So if you like the more classic tab target games with more up to date, fancy engine graphics and lots of conveniences of life, especially if you only played 1.0, please come back. There are so many different things to it now. Um, then you would really enjoy Final Fantasy because this game has so much in it to do, so much to see, so much fun to be had. This is my Teamcraft. As you can see, I'm starting to get into the real workings of it. As you see, I'm beginning to get all this stuff together so I can begin to do this achievement. But that's why I specifically play MMOs, because they just give you hours of content at less of a price than most games do now. That, and I feel like a lot of games kind of lie to people. Like, they come out and they have these trailers that are amazing and great graphics with cool gameplay and these cool situations that can happen. And when the game actually comes out, you find out that almost never happens, or it's not even in the game. Anthem. I'm just kidding. No hate on Anthem. They did do that though. They totally did do that, and that let me down a bit. But I did play Anthem for a good minute, and I did get my enjoyment out of Anthem because I played with friends. I feel like I managed to get my money's worth out of the time I spent in that game. But too many game companies, especially AAA developers that we give so much money to, expect everyone to play with friends because they're like, well, friends are going to make the experience for you. Like, I don't know about that, man. You making a proper polished game with those millions of dollars you've been given would also make a good experience for me. I don't think you should rely on my friend Jimmy being home 5 hours a day to play a game with me. I really think you should just rely on your own innate abilities with your resources at hand. But whatever. What do I know? They come out. They offer you a really cool game through a trailer, a screen cap, a bunch of screen caps, or a few different trailers. And then it comes out and it doesn't have that stuff. It's not there. You play it, you also notice it's very janky and things have been changed noticeably. And then later on, an interview comes out where they talk about how they decided to change things in the last minute because it would make it a better experience for the player. And you're just like, what player is this making it a better experience for? Like, hello? What are you guys talking about? Like, I'm honestly lost right now. Like, you said that it would make it a better experience for people? Are you sure it's going to make it a better experience for people? I don't know if this will make it a better experience for anybody other than yourselves and your wallet. So after a few of those scares in the past 5 years, like Mass Effect Andromeda, Anthem, Final Fantasy 15 at first, um, a few other ones that I can think of, like The Division, The Division 2. I like, don't get me wrong, The Division 2 is great. I like what they're doing, but it went from the idea of everything's different from our first game, please come play, to everything is almost starting to mimic our first game. And the first game I thought was really cool all the way up until endgame, and then I started wanting to take a nap while I was playing the game because everything was suddenly a bullet sponge. Nothing could be taken down very quickly. And I get it, it's got to make it an RPG, but at the same time, I feel like 8 people shooting about 1,000 rounds into a guy is super boring. Like, I just want to I want to take a nap after that. Like, oh yeah, somebody, so get my sandwich. And that pretty much was my experience with the Division after a while. Just a bunch of people standing around shooting bullets into one guy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like the game. I think the game isn't bad at all. Sorry if you hear my chinchilla in the background. He's just cleaning himself in his dust bath because he knows he's cute. And I just fed him so he's happy, and when he's happy, he wants to be noticed. And I guess after those few games, well, there were games that came out that I loved. They were phenomenal, like the new Wolfenstein at the time, new Outer Worlds. I loved Outer Worlds. The new Star Wars game actually let me down quite a bit. So, um, really good game, really short, super linear, nothing like KOTOR, which is what I was really banking on because I'm a KOTOR fan. Um, Red Dead 2. These are all games that I really enjoyed that came out that I was happy with. My game that I've been following for years, Vulcan or Umbra, what it was originally called. 7 Days to Die is one of my favorite survival games, and I feel like it only got better with the last release. Props to Joel from Fun Pimps. We've come a long way, Joel, but I appreciate your efforts, and I think you and your team work very hard, and I appreciate you guys. Granted, back when you had your piss fit because somebody judged you or something, and you went quiet for months, I thought that was a little silly of you, but hey, it's all good. We all have our moments. I know I have mine every other day. And that's also partially why I'm playing Shroud right now on the side, because Shroud makes me very hopeful because it reminds me of the original games I grew up with, where you put a lot of effort into things just to do the most basic task well. And a lot of people will say, "Oh, that's horrible. I have a life and all this," but to me, it's like on my day off, I don't have a life. I don't intend to leave my house. I'm not gonna lie to you. On my day off, I want to sit at home and be reminded of the gaming I used to do. And that's the best way to do it. That's why I play very long, drawn out games, because at the end of the day, when I have a day to myself, I just want to game and forget about the world, which is what I plan to do. So, with that said, let's talk about some games that I'm waiting to come out. And I think all of you are waiting to come out. Cyberpunk 2077, hands down. The new Vampire the Masquerade. I saw some of the gameplay and it looked really cool. They released a little trailer of it, of like people walking around and doing a few things. I really hope that that comes to fruition. I hope that turns amazing. I think when 2077 comes out, I will take a break from MMOs just to enjoy that. Maybe I'll post a video or two of my character creation because for some reason I seem to be really into character creation. I definitely want to visit the Masquerade too. I don't know when that's going to come out, but I already have a feeling when that comes out, I'm going to drop everything to go and play. Oh my god, sorry guys. I'm always yawning when I come on. I'm not tired, I swear. I'm boring myself. Oh Jesus! Oh, the realization, the epiphany. I'm boring and I'm boring myself. I'm looking forward to. Well, I was looking forward to an MMO called Lost Ark. Um, Recently I heard that they're not coming to the NA, but you can play on the Russia servers. But I have no interest in playing on a Russia server than modding my game. I was just hoping it would come to NA like originally planned, but it's taken them a few years to say that, so at least they said it finally. But at the same time, it's like when video game companies do that, they cut off a whole market to themselves. And I understand they don't want to focus on localization, but with the way things are in North America, I think they would make so much money because here in North America, people are starving for a new MMO, like a good MMO that's well done. I know I am, and I know most of my friends are. I'm looking forward to Pantheon, Path, or Pantheon something of the Fallen. I forgot the name. I've been waiting so long for that game that I'm actually starting to forget the name to it, and I'm not caring as much. Like they still release a stream every 3 or 6 months, and I stopped watching because I no longer care at this point. I just want them to finally be like, yeah, we're releasing the game or something instead of here's another stream of Captain Nose Needle winning a victory against an old boy troll. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, let me tune into this one so I can listen to 5 hours of him talking to his friend, nodding in the weirdest manner, might I mind you, as someone says something to him over the internet. That's, that's cool and all for some people, but I can only see that maybe 6 times. I can't see it 30 times and be like, oh, this is so fun still. And at that point, it's like, just release the game so we can do the same thing. But hey, it's good that they are taking time to get it right. You know, I would rather them take time and get it right than them take time and release a dumpster fire. I forget which Japanese dev said it was, but one Japanese dev said, if you release a game late, it gets released and people love it. But if you release a game in a poor state, people will never forget that, or something like that. He said something like that, and it basically meant if you rush to release a game due to pressure, or like you think you'll make more money if you do it then people are going to remember that really, really bad opinion of the game, and they're not going to want to play the game. But if you postpone it because you want to improve it, and you release it and people love it, then then that they'll actually appreciate it in the end. Sure, they'll complain because you're postponing it, but in this day and age, people always complain. Let's be honest. Nobody doesn't complain, and that's what he's saying. And I think there's a lot of truth to that because think about how many games we've played in the last 5 years that have come out, and they felt really undone and super unpolished. And if they hadn't felt that way, we'd still be playing them. There's a lot of games like that for me that have come out that strike that exact opinion in me. And Mass Effect Andromeda being the biggest one, Anthem being the second biggest one. There was a few side MMOs I tried. Trust me, I've tried more than these games, and they let me down so hard that I forgot about them immediately due to my own like health. Because if I continued to think about them, I would be stressing out. Like, oh my god, oh they could have done this and this. I mean, hell, I felt that way about Final Fantasy 14 sometimes. I'll be playing this game and I'll be like, they had such an opportunity here, but they didn't do it, and I don't know why, other than probably budgeting issues. Even though a lot of Japanese companies always pretend like they are doing worse than they are, and I don't know why. They will always act like they are poor and hurting for money, but in truth, they aren't poor or hurting for money. They're just having fun, I guess. And I don't know really. We're just opening this up so I can actually see the chat because I forgot. And yeah. I don't even know what to do from here, honestly. I'm just gonna minimize that. I'm gonna keep going without chat. I tried. I did my best, guys. That's the best I can do. And with that said, um, for I think since Lost Ark isn't coming to play and Pantheon's a way out, I'm gonna just focus on Shroud for a bit. There is that new Amazon game that I was excited about. It was like supposed to be a survival MMO, but it looks more like a crafting survival battle royale type game now. It's looking really like that. Like there's a heavy emphasis on it. So I'm starting to think that isn't going to be my cup of tea because I'm never into those craft battle royale games. Like don't get me wrong, I love PvP games, but for some reason, oh my god, when I play crafting battle royale games, I don't see the bigger picture, and I like to have some kind of permanent progression made, like visible permanent progression, like gears upgrading and all this stuff. Not it's gonna reset every map. And if they don't reset it every map, then that's gonna lead to a huge imbalance, of course. So that's why I'm kind of steering away from that now. I was excited for that for the longest, but that's okay, really. I'm still gonna give it a try when it comes out. I'm not just gonna shoot it down immediately because it's very possible it will come out and I'll be like, this game is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, it's still possible that it'll come out and it'll blow my mind. I'll just be so excited that I'll keep playing it, etc., etc. Another game I would like to really see. Well, I guess a type of game I would like to really see come out would be an MMO that kind of resembled the original Korean MMOs like Ion and Lineage and all those games that came out and they made it so that it was PvE, PvP, PvP, PvE, PvP, PvE, that kind of deal. Because to me, you guys can harsh on it all you want. Sure, the RNG was horrible, but to me, being able to do all of that in one game and have a progression system, a steady progression system, in all of those fields at once was cool. Final Fantasy, the main reason I'm here is because This, they make it so everything you would do in a normal game in this game is a drawn out adventure. You just don't go to your carpenter's bench and you saw on nothing for a couple of hours and you level it up. In this game, you actually put on a saw, you put on a whole new outfit, and you have whole new skills and you level carpenter. You actually become a carpenter in your life and you shine. You shine forth. Shine forth, my child. Which to me is super cool. It's a form of progression that has been put that has had more emphasis put on it. It's a bit more in depth than you go to a bench at AFK for a couple of hours making ingots. Which, don't get me wrong, if you ever have big airship projects and submersible projects in this game, you will do that. But that is totally not what you do to level up if you don't want to. It's probably not one of the most efficient ways to level up with all of the patches they release for leveling now. And so I like games that really expand upon that. So if they released an MMO that would expand upon every category and give you every category, that would be wonderful. Like WoW's most recent changes, I am not a fan of the PvP changes. They've made it so if you PvP, you don't get anything from it, and the best PvP armor is the PvE raid armor. So it's like you PvE to have the best PvP armor, and then what was the point of even PvPing? Because you go in there with your PvE armor, and you beat up people. That just seems so horribly boring to me. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, I just got this hammer of intense burning off of that boss in the dungeon I just did. Now I'm gonna go kill people in PvP with it. Really efficiently at that too. So much that the people who have been PvPing for hours suck compared to me. Like I feel like that is never a way to go with PvP games. I know how people feel about PvP armor and how it's imbalanced, but at the same time I feel like that progression is what gives a lot of people motivation to PvP and have fun with it. Because sure, someone will come into the game and get beat up a few times by people or get beat up a lot by people with this gear, but at the same time, when they finally get gear of their own and they're beating people up, it feels so much better. It was all worth it. Now, I know this from experience coming into Ion, where when I first went on Ion, I wasn't big on PvP. I didn't get big on PvP until like a couple months in, so I got beat up a lot in Dredgian or a lot in the overworld. But then when I got my gear and I became a force to be reckoned with, I wouldn't really do the same as they did. I wouldn't camp people without gear, but if people who didn't have gear attacked me, I'd definitely kill them because, that is points. I definitely would murder them for the points, but I wouldn't specifically chase after them. And it felt great though, being able to defend myself or kill people. It was really awesome. I sound like a murderer right now. Like I'm just having so much fun murdering people. Ha ha! Like I have this sick look on my face. But no, it felt nice. And a lot of these games, they're so afraid of having their game called imbalanced that they don't do it. And what's ironic is these games that do that, they don't put any PvP progression and they make it so everybody can join, are super imbalanced with their classes. Like Final Fantasy is definitely guilty of that. They for like 2 years they thought it was normal to have range classes that do more damage than your melee and your tanks. They take about the same no, they took the same damage as your melees. Sometimes your tanks, it felt like. And they had the same HP, if not more, than the melees. Like, why would you give so many advantages to a class that can shoot you from 20 yalms away? Or 20 feet away? Well, I guess with Final Fantasy standards, it was more like 40 feet away. They had some range on them either way. Like, when in their heyday, they could pretty much take you down to 20% before you even got to them, even with gap closers. Like, that was just how powerful they were. And Final Fantasy thought that that was a good idea for years. And by that, I mean, they didn't touch it at one point. Okay, this is what's hilarious about Final Fantasy. They'll say that they notice something's a problem, and they're gonna fix it in a couple of patches. Like we know it's a problem, but it'll have to stay there for now. Sorry if your enjoyment is killed in the process. We'll come back to it. So they make these classes super overpowered because they're too busy patting themselves on the back about their gear changes. Like, yeah, we made it so gear doesn't affect the game and all this stuff in PvP. And yeah, meanwhile, there's a class that can CC you and murder you, but hey, that's okay. It was an Ion reference right there. Spirit Master, pretty OP, really. And that's why, honestly, I'm okay with gear progression because I feel like at every point in a PvP game, there's going to be some kind of imbalance. So if they just try their best to keep all of their fronts balanced, then it's going to turn out for the best, really. People are going to notice it. It's going to turn out for the best. People will probably be a bit happier than they would think. I would really just love a game where I don't feel like I have to go play another game to satisfy an urge like I used to. Like, older games, really. Newer games feel too much like cash grabs. Rushy cash grabs. If there's another single player I'd say I was waiting for, I saw a teaser trailer for something being released by Square Enix, and nobody knows what it is. People think it's the new Final Fantasy. I hope not. It looks so far from Final Fantasy that I would be very unhappy if it was. But hey, whatever. It looks super cool either way. I think that would be something I would look forward to coming out. I was looking forward to. I forgot the name of it now. It was an MMO. Oh, it's the MMO where you play as a dude driving around. It looked more like Mad Max if I have to, if I have to give it a setting. It was an MMO like Mad Max, and you were in the dunes driving around on this big vehicle, and other people were, and you were trying to rate other people's vehicle. I don't know. They could take that in a really cool direction, or they could take that in a super boring direction. And by that I mean like make it so that that's strictly an instance thing there, and that would be nothing but boring to me if they did do that. I'm waiting for that. Uh, to me that sounds cool. That's really it though, in terms of what I'm waiting for. I mean, I'm sure it's the same thing you guys are waiting for. There's an MMO that came out called, or not MMO. There was a Dark Souls game called Ashen that came out. Kind of went under the radar for most people, but Ashen is a really cool game. The art style is very different. I like that one a lot. Was thinking of maybe buying that and playing that, making videos of it because it's pretty fun. Really, it looks fun. Played it at my buddy's house for a few minutes. I enjoyed it. It definitely was Dark Souls. It was a cuter Dark Souls. I'll say that. I mean, Code Vein came out. If people like Code Vein, I didn't particularly care for Code Vein. It was another one of the ones that I played at my buddy's house, and I was like, I have a Dark Souls on my computer. I'm okay. I mean, the art style in the anime was wonderful. It was on point, but it wasn't my cup of tea in the end. I would have to say. Yes, you guys can see my amazing going through my inventory here while I talk. Granted, I'm going through my inventory at the speed of like a 12-year-old because I can't talk and do things for some reason, which is okay. Oh wow, yeah, I definitely have all those. Yeah, that's definitely one thing I don't have to worry about now. Then there. And then I need white ash log. Let me show all the Final Fantasyers that are watching a feature that most people don't know about anymore. You type that, it brings up all of that. And then I discover I have no white ash logs at all. Oh man, now that got me good. So in the end, this is our list of things that we can look into now. Now that we see that what we can make and do. So the stuff highlighted means that I think this is highlighted. I don't know. The stuff that's highlighted means we can make it now because we have the material. And the stuff that's a normal color just means that we're still gathering materials for it. But it looks like I can make my life a little better here and just go gather a few of these completed items out of my retainer here. Yeah, I got 6 miracle apple lumber. If anyone from Final Fantasy's dev crew is watching, please make it so we can lower the quality of items in the retainer. And please make it so we can switch crafter classes while we're on our knee. We don't have to completely stand up, finish the animation, and then switch, and then sit right back down. That would be a great quality of life improvement since you guys are focusing so much on quality of life stuff right now. That would be awesome. White ash lumber, miracle apple lumber. I love the names of these pieces of wood. Like, for some reason, these pieces of wood just have the cutest and awesomest name. Alright, that one. And then, where's white ash? Right here. And then I have a twin thread, so if I have a twin thread, there's no need for me to make one. I said I have a twin thread, but I have to find it. There it is. We need 5 rainbow thread. We have 4. Shoot, let's just get this out of here then. This is actually how I clean my retainer's inventory. I do these things because it gives me a productive thing to put these towards, and I don't end up frustrating myself by watching people undercut me on the market board. Which is win-win for me. So I just do these little things, and it finishes off stuff for me. And before I forget, because I always forget, we're going to visit one of the main towns. And I don't know how that hit itself. I must hit enter by accident. Nobody's talking to me or anything, so it's not like I have a reason to hide it. I'm just keeping it hidden, though. So, we're going to go to the main town, which is kind of dangerous, honestly. I won't lie. I do have some things on my game. I'm not going to say the word or what they are, so just be real dicey about this, you know, get in and get out real fast. It's a mission. Mission failed, boys. We'll get them next time. Alright, we did it. We got in here with no problems. Now we're gonna leave. You will not receive all the company seals. Oh, shoot. Oh no. I don't want to. I'm actually panicking about this. Like, oh no, I don't want to lose out on the possible ventures. Let me just buy some stuff I don't want. Yeah, there we go. I'll buy 100 of these bad boys. There we go. Oh, that scared me. We have to get in and get out, guys. It's a fast mission. There we go. Points to my free company. My free company being myself. And now we're back to the free company house. That was close. That mission could have failed at any point, guys. First I thought it did, but that person was wearing a bikini, so thank God. So, with all that said, I think that adequately gets my rant out. It was kind of random at points, but I did a lot better job staying on point this time, which is amazing. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back. Hopefully I only get better as I make these videos. These are really just things for myself to see. Something I'm gonna do in my pastime. This is a submersible system, by the way. You build submarines, color them if you want. They get ranks for going through missions, and they bring you back cool items that you can use to craft further submarines or upgrade your house. It's pretty neato, and by upgrade your house, I just mean change how it looks aesthetically, which is what I'm focusing on here. So my little sub just leveled up. I named it the Scooby-Doo because I ran out of cool names. It's rank 11. Oh no, it's broken. It's broken because the name I put on it, it's like, oh, I can't believe you gave me this name. No, we don't have any of the stuff to fix it. Well, with that being said, I guess I'm gonna go fix this up so I can deploy it again. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening to my rant about all the games that are coming out, and hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye!